So everyone, we have some interesting stuff to discuss tonight. Darth Revan, Jedi Revan. Revan is coming to Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes, the much awaited character, the much wanted character that we've been waiting for a couple years now is finally making his way to the game, and I'm stoked. There's lots of interesting things to talk about because we don't know exactly how he's going to come into the game, what type of event, what are his abilities going to be? Is he going to be meta breaking? We'll have to dive into that stuff as we get a little bit more information. But what we do know as of tonight is that there was a cipher released earlier this evening by CG Crumb, as you can see on screen at the moment, and on Cubs fan Han's stream, they were able to decipher that the message was Revan backwards with, I believe, the word Jedi in front of it. So it looks like we're going to be getting Jedi Revan, or the light side version of Revan first, which also adds a whole bunch of more questions because, again, getting one version of Revan, if we were looking at, let's say, the light and dark side version of Revan, was what we were expecting. But now that we're looking at possibly the Jedi version of Revan, that means that we could get multiple iterations of Revan. And that leads me to believe that he could be a hero's journey character. Now, this was a pretty interesting cipher here when I first came out, and when we first took a look at it as the Game Changers, I couldn't figure it out. So I was sitting there really trying to figure out what this could mean and what it could be. I'm glad that with some of the help from some of the other players out there and the player base were able to determine what the answer was, and then immediately they released this trailer, which we'll take a look at here and then kind of discuss in detail, which is what leads me to believe that we may actually also have some other factors to think about here when it comes to how Revan's going to be dropped. So let's take a look. So awesome. There he is. Savior, conqueror, hero, villain. It gives me chills. It gives me chills. I'm so excited. I'm so excited. Let's take a look at that again one more time. A legend from the old Republic has emerged. Now notice here that the word hero stays on the screen a little bit longer. So that's another indication. That's so awesome. Again, that's another indication that we're looking at possibly the light side version of Revan. Why would they keep hero on the screen longer than any other word there? Also could mean that maybe we're getting a hero's journey. And that would kind of indicate why we're getting the light side version of Revan, because, again, getting only one version of Revan, or getting the light side version of Revan now, the Jedi version of Revan, would indicate that we're going to get multiple iterations, which would mean that it's going to possibly be a hero's journey, kind of like Luke Skywalker and Rey Jedi Training. So we did get the original version of Rey, then we had the hero's journey, we got Rey Jedi Training, we did get the original version of Luke, and now we're going to get the original version of Revan, and possibly a hero's journey down the road that could lead to, let's say, the dark side version of Revan, which would be more of a Sith, right? And wow, just thinking about a Jedi Revan is amazing, especially since we're looking at recently getting reworks for Grandmaster Yoda and adding Jolee Bindo and Bastila Shan to the game. So we're looking at possibly a really serious Jedi faction here over the next couple months. Now, what's also interesting about that video is that it introduces this character here, a creature called the Terran Tatic. Okay, and this was a pretty vicious creature that fed on force-sensitive beings. So it inhabited in caves and tombs and was strong with the dark side of the Force, guarded this section of the Naga Sadows tomb. So basically, this was one of the beasts that guarded Naga Sadows tomb. Terrantech resembles rancors, although smaller, approximately 1/4 the size of a fully grown bull rancor, except they had a number of spines growing from their backs and pair of flaps or tusk-like projections attached to their mouths. They also had massive claws, 4 to a hand. The tusks and claws of a Terrantech were highly venomous. It was theorized that they were once rancors subjected to mutations by the Sith, and that when the dark side was weak in the galaxy, Terrantech would hibernate and remain dormant for many years, only to return when the dark side was strong again. So there's a lot of history behind these creatures as well, and it looks like they're kind of tied to the dark side of the Force. So being that they're smaller than a Rancor, it makes me wonder if they could be a boss, or if maybe, you know, we're going to get an event where you have to enter Naga Sadows' tomb. There's so many possibilities. Could this be a raid boss? Could this be just a portion of the raid? I doubt very much that they would show us this character at the same time that they're showing us Revan for no reason, just to kind of tie it together. Even when we watch that clip, it looks like he's entering a tomb, like he's inside of a Sith temple. So if you know the history of Revan, you know, he does go to Naga Sadows' tomb. Revan also single-handedly fought and killed 2 Terrantechs in the tomb of Naga Sadows. So what ends up happening is that Revan was able to basically fight 2 of these, which means that I think what they're indicating with that scene is that, I mean, Revan, you see the tomb doors open up, is actually in the tomb of Naga Sadows. So, I mean, doesn't that mean that we could also get Naga Sadows at some point? I mean, then why would they reference the character? This kind of opens up the wormhole or the rabbit hole. How deep does the rabbit hole go for KOTOR is what I'm saying. So there could be lots of characters from KOTOR that we could get. I mean, Naga Sadows could get into the game. We could get a light side, then later a dark side of Revan. What this means to me, though, is that we're not getting just a regular legendary event for Revan. This could mean a hero's journey. This could mean a raid. This can mean a lot of different things. And that kind of affects really how we're going to be preparing for Revan too. Because I got to tell you, character-wise, I'm not ready. Okay? I mean, just to go into my account here so we can take a look and see where we're at. I got to tell you, I'm looking at just so we can kind of take a look here where we're at with my account here. I'm looking at not being prepared for months. I mean, I'm already thinking about buying a vault right now to start farming these characters. But if it is a raid, okay, if it isn't a legendary event, if it isn't a hero's journey event, then there's no rush, because we're going to be waiting for the raid to come out, which will take a little bit of time. Okay. But I don't think that we're going to release Revan's video like this with that character or with that beast if it's not something that's going to be coming very soon in some sort of an event. So could it be a raid? Yes. What do I think? I think it's going to be a legendary event. Not a legendary event, a hero's journey event. But I think it's going to be something tied into defeating that boss. And I don't think it's going to be easy. I think not only are you going to need these characters to be at 7 stars, I think you're going to need them to be gear 12. I think it's going to be very hard. It's going to be one of those things where maybe you just earn some shards over time. Maybe it takes a couple months to get Revan. Maybe it's an event that recurs once a week for, let's say, you know, forever. Maybe it's just once a week the event comes back, and every time you beat the event, you can get 20 shards. I think it could be something like that. And maybe every time you beat that boss, maybe there's different tiers. Maybe you have a 5-star tier where you can get 5 shards every turn, and then you have a 6-star tier where you have all the characters at 6-star, and then you can get 10 shards every turn. And maybe you have a 7-star tier where you can get 20 shards every turn, something like that. And kind of like the recurring events for Mother Talzin And for Night Sister Zombie, like that thing that they tried to do last year where you just slowly farm the characters over time, they may actually just do something like that with Revan, where he's only attainable from this event. And you have to farm these characters. And the quicker you buy them, the quicker you'll have Revan. So I think that something like that could be in order, but who knows? It's still too early to tell. Either way, I can tell you right now, if it is Jedi Revan, and if he is going to have that faction tag, the Jedi are going to be sick. So get your Jedi ready, and he's going to break the meta. Okay, he's going to have 3 Zetas. He's going to be just as sick. He is the pinnacle of KOTOR, just like Luke is of the original trilogy and Rey is of the new trilogy. So I think that if we're looking at you know, meta characters, is he going to be meta and able to defeat Traya? Yes, absolutely. He's going to break the meta. So whatever abilities he have, and they're very good at making characters nowadays, so whatever abilities he has, they're going to be sick. So having Revan is going to be almost essential in this game. So get ready, get prepared. It's time to get excited. It's time to theory craft. It's time to panic farm. You know, it's time to do all those things. So I'm sure we'll get some more information over the coming days. I'm excited. I'm sure a lot of you guys are too. I'm looking forward to it. May the force be with you guys, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Thanks.
Yes, Master.